All right, hi, hello. I'm Colby, I'm Code Dameron, and I am here with the 2025 Galactics review retrospective. I've got some vlogs. I want to talk about my experience. I want to talk about the deck that I played. I want to talk about the results. I want to talk about the future, and I want to just kind of use this as a great archive to remember this point in time in the game. Right now, it's about 2 weeks after Worlds. I've had a little bit of time to decompress, kind of reset a little bit. I've been thinking about other things, and now I'm trying to get back into, how did this tournament, how did it feel? How did it go? How did it end up? And where do we go from here? I want to talk about first the deck. I want to talk about some of the choices I made, why I made them, and why they did or didn't work out for this tournament. So first off, let's take a look at the list that I played. I played this deck. I was really happy with the name. I'll talk about it in a second. The Warm Embrace of Home. This is a Han 2 green force list. Now, some of you might be like, oh, of course Colby's going to play Han 2 green. That's the deck that he plays. And I got to tell you, I went on a long journey to find this deck and at Worlds understand why this deck was and wasn't a good choice. So leading up to the Galactic Championships, I was playing lots of decks, lots of different things. I was looking at Qui-Gon, the unit. I was looking at Han 2 yellow. I was looking at other aggressive things. I didn't really want to play Sabine. I didn't want to play Control. I really wanted to be in that mid-range soup. Anakin, Yoda even. Han 2 blue was really popular. I didn't want to play mirror matches. I felt like I would be better off playing a deck that has an advantage into, something off meta, instead of just grinding out mirror matches all day. I didn't understand that matchup well enough. And the elephant in the room was this Kylo Tarkintown deck. This deck was very powerful, and the Bothans were playing it, the Bothans were testing it, and the Bothans were really good at it. I tested the Kylo Tarkintown deck, and I realized that it's really hard. Maybe my testing was a little bit skewed because I was playing against a bunch of Bothans who knew how to play against the list rather than a bunch of people with the assumption that they didn't know how to play against it. But the point is that Worlds, in my head, the best players are going to show up and find the best strategy anyway. So it wasn't until, there was a point at which I was set on the Kylo Tarkintown deck. I saw some of the combos. I was looking at the Rey unit that draws a card and does damage. You draw her and you do damage. I was looking at Owen. I was looking at the Lightnings. I'm like, this is the deck. And then I realized I didn't understand how the pieces went together. And I said, what would I rather? How do I want to bring myself to the World Championships, to Galactics? Do I want to play the deck that I think is the best, or do I want to bring the deck that I think I can play the best? And once I kind of looked at it from that light, I think it was someone posted a very generic version of Han 2 Green Force, and I say, oh, that's a good card. That can come down at this point in the curve. That can come down here. And I realized I understand these cards. Whether or not I thought it was the best list going in, I knew I could look at any hand of this deck and understand the play patterns because I had just been steeped in it for the past couple months, really since November. So, or maybe however long I was playing this list. And the point is, I said, okay, I'm going to take the new tools from the Force package and bring them to Galactics and upgrade the list. I went through a lot of iterations of this list and things that I found that were very unique. I wanted to bring something unique because the list, if you remember the Data Vault version, I still have it here. Here's the Data Vault version. This list had to run some weird tools. It had to run the Confiscates, so that you could deal with pilots and leaders and upgrades, and you had to run Fel the Dragon, or else how are you going to win a longer game? I was running this deck very aggressively, and then I updated it like this for Minneapolis, and the point is that this list is trying to play that really big aggro mid-range game. And you look at the Worlds list, the Force list, and you say, how do you play with 5 less health in your base, but play more aggressively? Play for that mid-range. A lot of these lists had Yoda and Home 1 in the main, and I said I wanted to end the game faster. If you look at my list, I'm actually still running the big 5-drop package. The Adelphis fall out for the Anakins because I wanted the Force user and I wanted the more stats on the ground, and you get the Force package in the mid-range. You get the Eth Koth, you get the Ki-Adi Mundi, and then after a lot of back and forth, there were lots of things in the sideboard. Yoda and Grogu ended up in the sideboard for me because I wanted to play the aggressive game, and I thought that Yoda would come down too late and have too little of a board impact. If you needed the heal, then you weren't winning anyway. And the Grogu had 1 power, not a General's Blade target. What am I doing with that? I'll talk about the other choices in a second, but those are cards that you often see in the main deck, and I said no, I want to run this aggressively. Why did I think that this deck was okay to bring without some of these very important Confiscate, Fell the Dragon tools that we had in the past? I found 2 major upgrades in this list that I thought were really innovative for Galactics. The first is the Dirk Droid, the Probe Droid. It's a 2/3 for 2, which means it's a 2/1 for 1, which kills any non-unique enhancement. If you look at the metagame, the only non-unique enhancements are Darksaber, Yoda's Lightsaber, maybe a Darth Maul's lightsaber, and then all the pilots. If I thought that no one was running pilots, or there would be fewer pilots, or I had tools for pilots, this Dirk Droid could be a great option to really take every lightsaber out of the format. Constructed, General's Blade, Fallen Lightsaber, even Jedi Lightsaber. One of the things that I said in the construction of this list is no scams. I will not allow myself to be scammed. I don't want to lose the game by turn 2 Gungi Blade. What is a Han 2 green deck supposed to do about that? My answer was Dirk Droid. And I think that was a great choice. I'm actually really happy with how the Dirk Droid performed overall, especially very good at taking shields. A lot of times Confiscate would be just take a shield. But now you can trade with a Crafty or a Force Crafty really, really well. I was really, really happy with the Dirk Droid. Absolute A+ in this list. You can actually see how this progresses in the vlogs that'll come after this, and I think it was okay on the day, but in testing and just in general, great card. Also, the question is, what do I do with no Fell the Dragon? The answer, in theory, the answer as the deck is constructed is Force Throw. That's kind of the new tool that the new set 5 brought to this list. And Force Throw is if I have a Falcon piloted with Chewbacca, now I can hit it with the Mace Windu Force Throw. If I have an issue in space or something that I can't deal with, now instead of Fell the Dragon, I have Force Throw. This is the theory. This says, okay, if I have a thing, I can kill it. The big elephant in the room is the Crate Dragon. If this deck fights up against a Crate Dragon, you look at it, you really don't have any tools for it. There's not even a whole lot of go wide in this list. There's a little bit of Blue Leader, there's a little bit of Kelrin Beck, but there's not even a ton of value other than Ki-Adi-Mundi and Eth Cop. And those are the real Force tools. Those are the payoffs. We have these 4 power units, 4 toughness units that come in and either get their value on play or get value on death. And the question is this enough to bring back the rest of the deck? I felt like they still needed a bunch of the basic tools of the list to function. I still thought that Rebellious Hammerhead with Ki-Adi-Mundi were really great. You ever play those games where you have 3-4 cards in your hand, you're up cards because of Ki-Adi-Mundi, suddenly the Hammerhead's looking a lot better. And one of the things that I had identified for me, I wanted to play some sort of chunky space unit, and I think that 7 health is a good breakpoint for Anakin and Luke kills. And the Hammerhead, A+ in that regard. This deck really would want to play a lot of these cards on curve or using the General's Blade discount so that you get out of those breakpoints. That 5 damage to 7 damage breakpoint is very much bigger in this format. Also, Wrecker. Wrecker, of course, good card, we all know this, but Mace Windu, the 6/6 for 6 that deals 4, fell out of my list. One of the big plays that I identified in my analysis and in my testing of Galactic's meta, what I thought it would be, is that Chirrut's a problem, especially for this list. Anakin's a problem. Luke is a problem. Wrecker is uniquely positioned to timely in on 7. You kill the Chirrut with your on play, and then you ambush into the Anakin, and you don't die. And I thought that was World's Win. I thought that was the big play. You can also hit into Luke and then die, and that's also just great. We'll see later that turns out ECL might be okay enough for that. The goal was to be more aggressive. Another thing that's really interesting what I found about this list is that if you look at the Planetary Qualifier in the Minneapolis, a card that had overperformed for me was Gorilla Attack Pod. I also like the Adelphi, but really the Gorilla Attack Pod was a real champion. And if you're switching to these other tools, namely Adigalia, Gungi, and even the Probe Droid, you have fewer 3-power turn 1 plays. Also, in the World's meta, a 3-power turn 1 play isn't quite as good. A Battlefield Marine doesn't kill the Adigalia. But if you're not playing 3 power on turn 1, you're not hitting base for 3 5 times, you're not getting to 15 damage, your tech pod isn't coming in ready on curve. You're playing for a little bit later. And that's, I think, where the deck was a little bit synergistic with itself. I'll talk about the downsides in a second, but we're still hyping up the deck, right? The deck still has the great plays. The General's Blade, I still wanted a scam in the list. I wanted a thing that said, if I play some line, I just win the game. And I think that General's Blade on Gungi or Adigalia is that line. If I go turn 1 Gungi or Adigalia, and then Hantu, whatever, goes whoever, and I go turn 2 General's Blade, either they play a card, and I pass, and I claim, and then I go General's Blade into Kelrenbeck, because you can do that with Han Solo on 4 resources, it's nutty. Or they claim, and then I attack, and I go General's Blade into another 2-drop, also nutty. I think you can actually go into a 3-drop with the Han discount. I thought that was good enough for Worlds. I thought that was the real playline I wanted to be in, and yeah, I wanted to be playing that value game, that aggression, and I wanted to be using the tools that I knew. Another thing that because I knew this list and I knew what was going on, how the deck felt to play, there were it took a little while for me to find the Anakin in the list, the 6/6 for 5. The list, as I was playing it, with more 6, 7s, and 8s, and Home 1 or Mace or Yoda in the list, and Crate Dragons at 3, it wasn't smooth. There was something wrong with, if you go turn 1 Adigalia, attack, turn 2 Ki-Adi-Mundi, your only turn 3 play would be Poe, because your 4-drop was already on the board. Your Ki-Adi-Mundi, your Ethcop was already on the board. So now you're playing 2 cards, and then your Rebellious Hammerhead feels bad. The deck was way too linear with how it had to draw and how it had to play out its cards. This is why I felt like the Anakin Skywalker was really important, or at least the other 5-drop. Maybe Adelphi would have been fine, but that's not a Force unit. Oh no. Headphones turned off. But I guess there's no sound coming out of my headphones. Whatever. The point is that I looked at this list, and when I built it, I realized that I had a really beautiful curve. Look at all my 2-drops, into my 3-drops, into my 4-drops, 5-drops, and then the 6-drops cut off, and then the 7-drops, there's only 4 of them, and then the Crate Dragon, there's only 2 of them. I saw this and I said, this is principled, this is how you build a deck, this is how I want to go in with a very consistent list. And you know what? This deck did that. My turn 1 plays were always there. My turn 2s, I had Eth Cotton stuff or a 3-drop. My turn 3s, I had Anakin or Poe. The list played as it should. It was too fair. The issue was that the Force Throw list, I wasn't playing aggressively because my 4 power unit, my 4-drops had only 4 power or 4 toughness, and they were only running less HP. Ki-Adi-Mundi on turn 2 does not feel good into Adigalia or Gungi or into anything. There's nothing that Ki-Adi-Mundi on turn 2 trades into, which is fine if you're playing Hantu Blue or if you're running something like Yoda and you want to find that value over time, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to play more aggressively. The same thing with Ethcot. He's a 5/2 that might not ramp if your deck doesn't go as well as you want it to. Cham might have just been better. He's a rebel. But I had to play these cards because I'm running Force Throw. Force Throw is my savior. Force Throw is the card that'll be fine. That'll make it all okay. Well, it turns out that when you're not running other hand hate, Force Throw on your opponent doesn't feel great. And when you're running all these hammerheads and you have to line up super perfectly, then the Force Throw into Crate Dragon or Mace Windu on time into the correct unit doesn't always happen. It turns out that I could have been ECL and not Force and been more aggressive, or I could have been Data Vault and been a little bit more mid-range, go a little bit wider, a little bit longer, like I had been, and had a smoother, wider curve and smoothed that out with Han Solo, and played a better game, and played a longer game. A lot of games came down to just a couple of health. And even when I had the Timely Wrecker, sometimes it just wasn't enough to get there because I hadn't been stacking the damage early on with 3 power units, Cassians, Battlefield Marines, really, or the Sabine units, or even the Echo Base Defender with that 4 power, boosted by the Adelphi Patrol Wing. It turns out that running a 28 health base meant that I wasn't an aggressive list, I wasn't a mid-range list, and I was just kind of stuck in the middle. And as you'll see in the vlogs, a lot of the choices, a lot of the big plays had to be really cute. You have to. One thing I learned in testing, Daniel and I tested right before the tournament. The only chance I had against Kylo Tarkentown was I had to turn to timely my 2-drop. I had to kill their MiGs or kill their Crafty Sage, the Force Sage with the Dirk Droid plus timely, and that was like the only line I had into those decks. And you know what? If I was running ECL, then with Hantu, I could have done that more aggressively. If I was running Sabine ECL, I could have done that more aggressively. If I had that with the Wrecker, I could have done it better. Or if I was playing a better long game, I could have played better units. I could have played better cards. If I was running the Rebel package still, I could be looking at the Fleet Lieutenant, or I wasn't even looking at Maz. A point on Maz. I think Maz is one of the missing pieces of this list. I think that running the Dirk Droids over the Confiscates, running the General's Blades to potentially have the scam, which is, you have to respect your opponents at Worlds. Are they really going to let you do that? I'm not sure. Maz might have been the extra aggressive piece that I was missing in this list, where I was running Anakin and stuff instead. A lot of times, I think there were 2 or 3 rounds out of 8 rounds, which is a lot, where a Crate Dragon would come down, and I go, damn, I don't have a way around this or through this. And I just lose the game. And my opponents don't know this, especially when I've popularized, the Fel Dragon in these lists is popular. It's a necessary tool. But I'm like, hey, I'm not going to run this list if I have to run an off-color card. There's 5 sets in, we're at Worlds, we can do better. The Dirk Droid and Force Throw are going to be enough to carry me, and they kind of weren't. I think that this list would be a lot stronger as a Sabine ECL list, who would have thought, or as a Data Vault Han Solo, or I even seen some of the pilots come out there, Luke or Poe. Poe did well at a PQ last week, and just having that mid-range, that extra health really goes a long way in a race. You can still play an aggressive list with, I'm not getting anything from my base with this. A lot of times the Force token just wouldn't be relevant. The ramp with Eatcock, never relevant. Even the General's Blade. I'm sacrificing a lot of power on my units for a potential scam. The sideboard was also a meta call. The Yoda and the Grogu were saying, if I ever have to play the board, if I've ever got to go late, if I've ever got to be a little bit more in the control list, and my opponent was playing aggro, you bring in the Grogus, maybe you bring in the Yodas. And it turns out I brought in the Grogus all the time. They felt good, but were they the right strategy? Were they the right play? Sometimes the game went longer, and then I had a lower top end. If I had 6 to 10 more cards in my deck with Data Vault and more health, I would have rather been playing Grogu to take advantage of having a wider board in a longer game and find that top end a little bit later. Not be as worried about resourcing a Coward back or a Crate Dragon. The Yoda, same thing. Brought in more bombs. The 5 health mattered. The damage mattered a little bit. And sometimes he brought it home, but I don't think the deck was built to support him. The Yoda's lightsaber was meant to come in against Sabine, come in against aggro lists, Vader 4, and really tip a race in my favor. You put it on the leader, you get out of that 6 health bracket, and you use your Force token, you heal 3, you're dealing 3 more every turn. The math said it should have been really good, but it never really lined up. I ended up resourcing them a lot, and I think that they're still good. I think that they were a really cool choice in here for what am I going to do with my Force token on an early game, where I don't want to be playing Kiadi Mundi, losing a trade to Sabine. Like, he can't even attack into Sabine and kill the leader. He was rough. And then the Parliamentarian. I knew that the Kylo Tarkentown deck existed. I knew that Anakin existed. And I said, if I'm going to win the championship, I have to play against Kylo Tarkentown at some point, and I want to have the tools. And I want to just go all in. There were a lot of things in the sideboard, but at the end of the day, I said, if I want to win, I have to play this card. And that's not how it went. Well, you'll see the vlogs of how every round went, but that's ultimately, you'll see the journey. There's a lot of excitement, and just being at Galactics was fantastic. So let me bring up the vlogs. We'll go through those, and we'll wrap this up afterwards, and we'll talk about some final thoughts. So here you go. Enjoy. All right. Hi. Hello. I am Colby. I am Codameron. I am your Boca Raton Bothan Spy, and I am here at the 2025 Galactic Championships in Las Vegas. This is a really cool event. I'm having a great time. I am seeing so many people and so much good cards. I want to talk about I want to talk about everything. I want to talk about my experience at this event. Currently, we're between rounds 3 and 4, so I want to talk about my games. I love talking about getting at my thoughts, but I want to organize this in such a way that I can talk about the event, I can talk about my deck, and then I can talk about the games, so that after all of this, you can jump to a certain timestamp, I'll put it somewhere, and you can just hear about the games. But let me talk about this event. This event has been so cool. FFG is running Galactic Championships in Las Vegas like a full-blown convention. We have a big TIE fighter and K2SO and a bunch of stormtroopers here. There's booths, there's dealers, there's events, there's side events. There's the day 1, day 2, day 3 structure, which brutal, but hey, we're all here to play the best card games in the world. And they're running side events. Logistics, logistics are hard when you're running a tournament with 3,000 people here and you're bringing in more people. So FFG is doing a great job of bringing in more people than just the people who want to play in the World Championships. There's things to do for kids, there's panels, there's people talking, there's a lounge with a bunch of TVs, you can watch all the games live. The production value is fantastic, the venue is fantastic. FFG is really going all out to make a fantastic tournament, and I'm appreciating it. I'm in Las Vegas, I'm having a good time, I'm testing, I'm hanging out with the Bothans, and I'm seeing so many people, so many content creators. Every big name of Star Wars cards is here, and I'm having a great time being a part of it. FFG is doing a great job. I hope they do more tournaments like this that are not just let's go to the tournament, but let's have events for children. I wish they did a junior league, but let's have great prizes. Oh my goodness, the prizes, the mats, the packs with all the great art, the tokens, the convention exclusives with the droids in them. There are so many good pieces of art, and I'm having a hard time picking which ones I want, because you have to play the side events, and it makes the side events valuable to get the tickets. You play in the main event, you do well, you get tickets. It's a really well-run event. Props to FFG for shilling out for being at the Venetian. This can't be cheap, but all of the expenses that they're putting into prizing out people who are doing well at these tournaments or have done well at the tournaments in the past, the food at Vegas, and just being at such an amazing place has really paid off. It made this feel more like just a tournament, and I feel like I'm at a convention and a real amazing event. Big props to FFG for that. Let me talk a little bit about my list and what I'm playing at this tournament, because I went through a lot of iterations of what I wanted to play. So originally looking at the meta, I did a lot of weeks and weeks and weeks of looking at mono blue decks and things that would try to break the meta open, Varkris, and what nooks and crannies of the meta can you find? And I couldn't really find anything that I loved. And the Bothans probably know this by now, made this incredible list, did so much testing. Kylo Tarkin Town. It has been a huge secret, and the Bothans, team of over 30 people, like 37 people, made this list and kept it secret. Kept this incredible combo list, the first true combo list of the meta of this game, secret. And that is relevant for the whole tournament. That is relevant for such a big tournament. Not knowing what's going on against this deck is very important. And I was going to play this deck. After trying and failing and maybe Han2 yellow, I'm going to play this deck. But due to the secrecy, it was hard to test this online. I didn't quite understand the lines, and I didn't feel like I could innovate on this list. Come Saturday, Sunday before Worlds, I was going to play this list. I did some testing with other decks. Nothing really felt great. I'm like, okay, this deck is still the one. And then come Monday, I did more testing on Monday night, and I realized I played the actual list. Oh man, I don't know how to do these lines. I don't know how to get beaten up. Really, it was Junior on Quinlan that was beating me up, which is apparently a bad matchup. I learned that the hard way. And then I saw another list that someone posted. It was just a basic Han2 green force list. And I said, you know what? I know how those cards work. I can play this card, I can play that card. And I switched to that. And I tweaked the deck a lot, especially even at the airport on the way. I added the Dirk Droids. I put Grogu's and Yoda's in the sideboard because I wanted to play this very aggressively. And I felt really good about this list. And I felt like it was a very principled, very good Worlds list. And whereas I don't think I'm playing the strongest cards, I feel like I'm playing the cards that I understand. I feel like the cards that I enjoy playing, that make sense to me. I understand the lines. I can find the tools. I understand what's in here. I understand what everything's for. I understand the holes and what I have to avoid. I know what tools have to line up with what things to get the win in particular matchups. I'm going to run Hantu Green. And you know what? I felt really good about it. I still feel really good about it. Props to Daniel for helping me build that list and lock it in right before the tournament. So I locked in Hantu Green because that is what not even that I'm trying to like make that my list, it's what I felt comfortable with, and I felt like I could use my player skill to leverage that better than another list. So, day 2 bye, we get into the tournament, and I lock in this list. What do we start with? We start against Talzin Green Force. Of course, it's Force list. This matchup was really weird because I didn't understand what I was going to be fighting up against. Like, what is this Talzin doing on this Force? What are the top units? Eighth Brother was there, Vader was there, Maul was there, the Blue Vader was there, Timely was there, 3x Darth Sidious. And this matchup went to 3 games. I lost the first game and I go, man, that wasn't good. I got wrecked on the board, and then I brought in a lot of stuff from my sideboard, and I played the board. I played the Grogu. I didn't get ambushed as much. I played whatever advantages I could get on the board. The Mace was super big. Watch the Force token. Don't get Sidious. Don't get... the Talzin player really has to line up a lot of things between the leader, between the either going to use Talzin's Assassin and then the leader, or the leader flip and you get the attack, or you can use the Sidious to get 4+1. A lot of those plays lined up very well into me, but I was able to keep the board strong enough. Yoda after the sideboard was really nice, and I was able to take that in three games, but it was really tight. Really tough game. Round 2, I play against Sabine. Sabine ECL, classic list. I'm like, okay, I know how I want to play this. I want to play a little bit control. Don't go high on damage. Get there. Game 1, I do a great job at this. Sabine starts hitting me. I start playing my units. I think I eat Koth timely. Love that play. Wrecker comes in to save the day a little bit. The one play that got me was K2SO was out there. I'm ready to hit it with the Wrecker after he claims or something, but he plays a Wing Leader, gets it out of my range. Jeez. Okay, Wrecker doesn't do as much. I think he comes down just straight, and he's able to trade. Oh no, it's Kelrin Beck that comes down. He trades his Kelrin Beck he trades his K2SO for my Kelrin Beck, and I have like an ETH Koth that had ambushed and killed a 3 power unit. He had the 6 damage kill on the second K2SO, gets me just there, and I was worried about the 4 cosplay, but instead the K2SO plus the Overwhelm plus the kill got the 6 damage, and I just missed it. Turns out Sabine just has a lot of ways with the Rebel Assaults. Also, he was playing Darksabers and Chewbacca's, 2 cards I thought I wouldn't see at this tournament. The Dirk Droids were a lot less valuable into this Sabine than I was really prepping for. So I lost game 2. Game 3, which was the most recent game, I played against a Hantu Blue. I'm like, okay, this is the matchup, this is the game. These are the decks that I've got to beat. And I think he played in the course of 2 games, 6 Itinerant Warriors, and it's just tough. He still has Fel the Dragon, and he isn't running lightsabers. Chirrut, I was able to scam Chirrut with a timely Kelrin Beck. Yoda did some good work, but ultimately, all of his cards were just a little bit more valuable and better at killing my units than I was at killing his. So he was able to get a lot more damage and a lot more killing on the play with Itinerant Warriors, and my list just didn't get there. Ogdo Bogdo turn 1, man, I gotta trade Obi-Wan for it or something. It was rough. So right now I'm X-2, I'm 1-2, and you know, I think I'm playing a fair list. I think I'm playing a set of cards that I'm comfortable with, that I'm excited to play, but that aren't breaking the game in any notable way. The Yoda's in the side, the Grogu's in the side, they're fine, they're not as aggressive, and I think like I'm not running as many value plays. The curve looks really nice. The Anakins, turns out when you play Anakin as a 6/4, opposed as a 6/4, there's a lot more in the meta that can kill it, and these are choices that partially are because it was so hard to lock in a deck and make a choice on such a wide meta and play such a crazy game.
I love Cole Dameron!
The Bothans, though, have been an incredible support system. Testing all the time, playing all the time, and providing all of the support necessary to
really play the game at the highest level and understand what's going on. I'm playing this deck. I feel good about it because I know how the cards work, but I also, because of the buttons, because of the time that everyone's putting into this game, understand every threat, every level of complexity of this game right now. I feel like I'm playing a tier 1.5 deck that I feel comfortable with, that I have the cool plays for. I've got cool timely plays and stuff, but really the power level of the game is higher than the deck I'm playing. And I think I'm suffering for it. And that's fine. I'm having a great time in Vegas. I'm having a great time at the side events. I'm having a great time getting the prizes. And it's just a fun time. I'm having a good time. And it's not looking like I'm going to be the world champion this year. But who cares, right? I think that really I want to see some crazy stuff happen. I want to hear the stories. I want to hear about what everyone's journey is, as far as how you showed up to Worlds, whether you won or lost, whether your deck felt good, whether you got countered by something, whether your matchups were bad, whether your draws were great. I love the big plays, and what's great about FFG right now, day 2, even if you don't make day 3, you have to go X and 2, so I could still make it. I think it's really hard for me to make the top 8 though. But if you go X and 3, you still get a ton of prizes. You get a bunch of cool stuff. So I'm gonna go for that. You'll see more of me, and I guess a second. Wish me luck. I'll do this one here. Look, everything's happening. The game's still on. Round 4, Sabine ECL, a lot better. I think the player was a little bit less experienced, but I just had better lines, better aggro. See, out of Galio with the sword, game 1, just hit him a bunch and then Poe closed it out. In game 2, there wasn't enough pressure on his board, and I was able to handle things with ambush. I love ambushing Eat-Koth. I love ambushing regular units, the Dirt Droids and stuff. I didn't do that Dirt Droid this game, but the Sabines, they keep running unique enhancements. I can't get them with the Dirt Droids. They keep siding him out, and then Yoda's and all the sticks come in, but I didn't need them. I just had the tools in the main deck. Obi-Wan's really good, trades into things nicely, and we get there. Just you have to out-aggro the Sabine while controlling them, which is what the deck is meant to do. You play a unit, you get some value out of it, you get a favorable trade, and it adds up. Your board gets bigger than theirs, and you win. If the Sabine's not poking you for enough damage, it works out. Wish me luck in 5. All right. So round 4, the Sabine ECL. Honestly, it was a good match. It wasn't even a good match, but it was just the player. It felt like I was outplaying him a little bit. Round 5, we had Krennic ECL. Another blue-green ECL. I'm gonna get baited. I'm gonna get hit with stuff. I wrote down all of his kill spells. He didn't have a ton of ways to stop the Gungi Blade. He had the powers and the Merciless, and one fell main board. So I think game 1 I was able to get Bolt, like a bunch of guys out, and get the Gungi Blade, and I hit him a couple times, and I got a bunch of extra units to insulate myself from the power of the dark side and the Merciless contest, and I got him to 24 on a weird line. I had a suspicious pass to get a Poe swing instead of my Han leader swing to trade it with this Krennic, which I think is wrong. I think from what I know about playing Krennic, I'm supposed to trade into the Krennic, but then like my Poe won't get the swing and I won't have anything. The problem with the matchup is that I'm playing a value deck, and honestly, I'm not even getting that much value. Like the Gungi Blade isn't that much value, and the Kiarimundi isn't that much value because you're not getting enough stats. And his value is this Vader ECL. He had 2 Anakins but no light side cards. He even had like the Snoke in the side and the Palpatine's return, which he got me on the second game after I forced through him. And he's got this extra value play that I don't have the tools in the deck the way that I've built it to really come back from. So I end up doing like a cute wrecker play to actually get his Krennic off the board. No, it was the second game. The point is, I got him on the ropes. I had a bunch of extra guys from the Gungi Blade, and I think I got him to 24, which is like, oh, I should have killed the Krennic when I had the chance. Oh man. And then the big thing is, once he wastes his ECL, he doesn't have a great way to kill Poe. He only had 1 Maul in the main, but I got him to 24, and I'm looking for. He had Krennics on the board, and he actually ended up hitting me twice with them. And I had 2 draws, and I'm setting up for the timely wrecker play. timely wrecker wins me the game, and I don't draw the timely wrecker. I draw like a Gangia. I'm like, okay, game 2. So I had the line to get out of it, and my instincts of wrecker, one, not needing the force and discarding a resource, totally fine. Like, I'm playing a lower curve. Anakin's been a little bit absent today. The 6/6, I don't think playing a 6/6 is just good enough, so that's an oops on my part. I thought the force and stuff would be good enough, but it's just a little weird. But the wrecker has been really, really good and has been the out. I'm only running 2, and I didn't draw it, and that lost me the first game. The second game, he just had some cool plays. Again, more value stuff. I went really wide, and then he, to insulate myself from the power, took really good value trades into his guys. Adi Gallia was getting pings when he was trying to do timely and do resupply things. And here comes Palpatine's Return Snoke. And I go, oh, okay, there's my board. I got the Snoke out with a wrecker, and I was doing the thing, but by the time we were at like 6 and 7 resources, I had like 3 damage on his board, or nothing. So it just wasn't enough. And I think a big part of this is that by going to the Force version and not running 3 power units, I think after today, the data vault, like, I got shiny stuff syndrome. The new Force cards are the shiny thing. I thought, ooh, they're really good. I want to play those. Kirimuri is very good. The Force is kind of awkward. It was cool. I was able to Ethkoth ramp and then Wrecker to D-ramp, and it didn't matter. But Cham does that anyway in the other order. Or if he's like the Cham stuff, maybe even like Fleet Lieutenant stuff, would have just been better. Adelphi stuff would have just been better. The deck that was built for set 4 with Data Vault, I think is just better. Oh man, look at this. Check it out. Sick. Anyway, again, I'm playing a value deck, and I took all the value pieces out, and all the value things are Ethkoth, and the Helbron Beck could have still been the main. This was supposed to be a Data Vault deck, and that might have given me the edge to have a little bit of value, still find the Force Throw, and find something. The Dirt Droids were something. There might be something else hiding in this set, in this format, that lets this deck get better than the rest of the other value things. It's still Wrecker. It's still Poe Wrecker. Is it just Sabine? I don't know. Point is, the deck isn't doing as well as the rest of the other things. The regular stuff in the format is beating me up, and I'm 2 and 3. I want to get at least one more win, because then I get a whole bunch of tickets. Wish me luck. All right, so round 6. Round 6, we play against Vader 1 Data Vault. So we're officially 2 and 3. We're dead, and we're playing against other people who are also dead in the hopes of getting day 3, and we're playing for prizes, because the prize support at this event is super duper good. If you get 3 prizes, there's a big prize jump, and then you get 4, you get some black packs that are really cool, really rare. Turns out really valuable cards. They sell for a lot of money because they're super unique, and they're super shiny, and they're super cool. So, Vader, Data Vault. Oh, what a slog. I realize I'm the aggro deck. I have to attack him, and he's not playing any sticks. No, the Dirk Droids just aren't getting their value. But I have the value, and eventually his Vader flips. It was a weird back and forth, like will he, won't he with Poe. Eventually I'm like, I'm just gonna get my damage. I've got to get through the Data Vault eventually. Let Vader flip, and I actually have a lot of tools to deal with Vader. I've got the Timely Wrecker, which comes out the next turn. He double ramped the first game, but I was still like keeping him down with the damage. I got him to like 28. And was managing his board. I forced him to manage mine. Calvin Beck has been a champion all day, making me a big board. He flips over Vader. He gets a couple kills. I kill Vader back. Maul's coming out. I slam a Crate Dragon when he has like 4 or 5 health left. And he's like, I guess I lose. And then he's like looking for the card. I'm like, no disintegrations. He's like, oh, I did have it. He was a little out of it. But I feel like I totally scanned that game. He like played a big guy, and then played the pilot Vader as a unit. It was rough. So game 1 was double ramp, and I got there on a scam. Shouldn't have won it, but I did. I bring in the 2 Grogus and the 2 Yodas. I take out. I think I'm pretty clear on the scam. He was running Traitorous, but I wasn't afraid of that for the General's Blade scam. There's not a lot, so that was doing pretty good. I miscounted it once. I don't know. the discount I would get. I thought I could play a blue leader on 4, but that's just not true. The next game, I'm like, okay, I have the Blade Scam again. I think I'm mulligan into it, and he plays Kylo's tie. Oh, I bring in the Grogus. I keep bringing in 2 Grogus and 2 Yodas. Maybe they should have been that way in the main, and I was wrong all along. I like the Dirk Droids. Maybe they're a sideboard card. Maybe the Yodas just deserve to be in and over something else. I don't know. Bring in the Yoda. I go Grogu, and he goes TIE Phantom, TIE Silencer. I'm like, I'm gonna get that with Grogu. He plays the Vader pilot on it. I go, damn it. I end up playing some regular guys. I think I end up getting him by like killing it, but I threatened it with Poe, and I just end up taking a bunch of really, really good trades. My board gets huge because once I 2-for-1 him with the Grogu just keeps adding up all the points. He didn't ramp, so we're even on resources. But I have the leader that ramps. I get him, and it was just an overwhelming victory. I just had so many guys. The way that this deck is winning is you take the value trades, you guys have a bunch of damage on them, and they don't die. Your board gets really big. You have Kelrin back which is actually a 7 now. Wrecker. Wrecker's been an A+ card this weekend. I need to go to 3 Wrecker. I need to look at this deck again. Top end of Kelrin back Wrecker. One of the cool things about Wrecker is that if you play Wrecker on 5, you go up to 5 anyway, and you still have a bunch of 6s that you like. If you play him on 6, you go down to 5, you still have Kelrin back the next turn and Mace the next turn. It's very, very good. And I'm playing a little bit more of the Anakins, the 6/6s. They're getting a little better. But yeah, we get the Vader on the game plan. Just be the aggro deck, and it worked out. All right, round 7. We're 3-3. We made the prizes, but if we get another win, we're really cool prizes. And then we kind of want to go 5-3. Then it's like, oh yeah, I was one away from getting the second day of Worlds. That'd be kind of cool. Haven't done that yet. But 3-3, play against Han 2 Blue. Time for the redemption. I know the line's better a little bit, and then I look through his list because it's open deck list. No scams for the blade, so I'm good to go. Turns out there were 2. Were there 2 confiscates? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm rolling it. I'm like, okay, maybe the Vader had the confiscates. Whatever. I'm rolling through it. And also, no dark cards. I've played against, I think both the Han 2 Blue decks I played had no. Well, the first one had 2 lightnings or something, but this one had no dark cards. I'm like, okay, that's one of the things that could have brought him back in the game. But I finally pulled off the dream. All of my guys are coming in. They're doing their attacks. I think I played the blade and I got Felled the Dragon, just like the plan is. Have a little bit more guys. He ends up having a board, which was Luke and Anakin, and I'm lining up Timely Wrecker. I was like on 8, and I was going to. Luke had like 1 damage. He had 2 damage because he cheated the Luke in. I was gonna slap the Luke with Wrecker, and Timely into the Anakin, completely destroy his board. Keep the Wrecker, super huge play. That's what the deck is here for. That's the whole big play of the deck. He plays Chirrut, and I get the actual main line of the list, which is Wrecker into Chirrut, attack into the other guy, into the Anakin, don't die. And you know what? Felt great. Wrecker was great. Both of these games, I did all the stuff. I brought in the 2 Grogus and the 2 Yodas again. Here we go. Because he's not playing the lightsabers that I thought these decks were playing, but they're just not. Even the Talisman that I played was green, so I wasn't playing the lightsaber. And I never got to the Kylo, so I haven't brought in the Parliamentarians once. But Anakin comes in sometimes and he doesn't get a kill. He just like puts something to 0 power so we can kill it with something else. That's not good action economy. You have to kill something with Anakin on play, or else it's not worth it. But game 1, we get there on the Wrecker scam. In game 2, we get there. I think I played the Crate Dragon at the end, but really my board just kept getting wider every single time I had the value play. And the stuff that was true with the Han 2 mirrors last set are still true. Red 5 is still very, very good in the matchup, and it turns out Grogu is probably pretty good in the matchup too. So I like that. And control of the Force is really important. Understanding how many, like if you draw the Force throws, maybe you play a hand control game. Maybe you can get the Force throw into the Red 5 play. He Force throws. I Force throw. I thought I was going to get a 2, and I got a 3. You put that on the Chirrut, and now next turn Red 5 can kill it. That's exactly what the Han 2 deck wants to do. Attack things, don't lose your guy, get value. By the end of the game, I had like 4 guys with 2 or 3, or there were 1 health left from dead. I just kept playing another guy. Here's another cowering back. Here's a wrecker. Here's kill your thing. I don't care. My curve feels so fluid, and I don't care about the wrecker. I really want to go back to drop ETH Cop, drop Kiadimundi, get the data vault, go to Cham, go to town. I want to go wrecker on 6, kill a resource. No, that doesn't work. I don't know. I want to get Cham back on the list. I want to play the data vault version again. But it is what it is. And right now we're 4-3, so we got more black packs. We got 3,000 tickets. That's like a showcase or 3 mats if I want it. I don't know. I'm swimming in tickets now. I don't know what to do with them. But one more, and we get even more black packs, and we go 5-3. So that's the goal. We're playing the whole world. Again, props to FFG for making a tournament that is worth not dropping from. Isn't that cool? I love showing up to play an 8-round tournament, and even though I went 2-3, I've been playing the whole set and happy about it. I'm always happy about it. But FFG's making it happen. Wish me luck in the last one. All right, last round of the day. We are 4-3, going into round 8. We're playing for glory, we're playing for prizes. I'm against Anakin Blue. Now, the theory has always been that Anakin beats Han, and Han beats other things better. Turns out it's kind of right. Turns out when they can play Adigalia and +2 to kill your Kiadimundi, just none of your plays feel good. Maybe Gungi kind of does, and Han 2 Blue doesn't have that. So I'm actually really happy that I played this. I lost. First of all, I lost. 4-4. I'm happy that I played this as the last one because it illustrated how fair the deck was. And again, I'm always playing from behind. I'm always playing scrappy. I'm getting like 15 damage in, then he's healing some of it, and I'm always afraid of the Anakin. You're force throwing, they're getting the lightnings. Man, all of this is telling me that the Han 2 green shouldn't be a force deck. It needed to either be something more proactive, ECL being very aggressive, or something bigger and bulkier with the data vault. Honestly, I think the ECL might have been all right. But really, again, I felt like I just didn't have a lot of different tools. Every game I was looking for some sort of very resource expensive wrecker, ECL, or wrecker timely into something play, and it just didn't feel great. My early game was fine. I get some good trades. I think I did a force throw early. I was playing the Kiadimundis. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play Kiadimundi. And then as a 4-2, it drew 2 cards, and I lose to his Adigalia or his Yaddle. That doesn't seem right. If I play him full, he loses anyway. That doesn't seem right. Really, the deck just wasn't good. The cowering comes down. The mace comes down. Mace was a good performer today. Mace actually did a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that can do a little bit of damage. Mace can clean him up and not die. Then he demands a kill spell. But it just felt like all my tools were fair. And even the new things that I added, the force throws were good, but they weren't incredible. I didn't tune the deck around it. A choice I could have made at one point was K2SO. I feel like that would have been, I feel like an ECL version with K2SO might be a lot better. Oops, I'm just playing Sabine now. Some sort of mid-range Sabine. Ultimately, I'm really happy that I brought this deck to Worlds. It's a deck that I understand, and I would rather have gone 4-4 with a deck that I understand why I went 4-4, and to see the power level of the regular meta. Because again, if you look at the videos, if you look at the record, I played against regular decks. I didn't play anything ridiculous. I boarded in the Parliamentarians finally. I put 2 of them in just to say it, so I could say I did it, really. But he had the lightnings. I'm like, ooh, maybe I can scam an Anakin. It just wouldn't have done anything. But I think that the deck was super fair. The deck was what I understand, and all I want to do is play big numbers. And it turns out there's more going on in this game right now than big numbers. The Bothans are doing really well. I think we have 3 or 4 people in day 2. And I actually don't even know where Daniel is. I hope he gets in. Maybe he's already dead. I don't know. But this weekend's been super successful. I've had a great time. Even though I'm not the world champion, even though I went 4-4, it's arguably the worst tournament showing that I've had in a long time, but I prepared not insufficiently, but I explored different axes of this game that weren't the good ones, that weren't the super competitive ones. I was exploring decks that I was looking for value, that I was looking for the combo, and I just didn't find it because I wasn't looking for like the super busted stuff. I was looking at the fun stuff, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing Doom and Garth Saxon. I played a little Palpatine. I was playing Hantu Yellow. I was like, Qui-Gon Jinn, that's a cool card. And you know, I think there's a lot to be said about what I've been looking for in other decks. I've got a lot of thoughts about what I want to do with this deck. Like, you make it mid-range, and you make it Data Vault, and then you put a bunch of ships in, and then oops, it's actually you accidentally built a mid-range Pilot Luke deck. And that, like, Boo posted about that. Maybe that's just better than what I was doing, or like what Han 2 is doing. Turns out Ogdo Bogdo and playing Anakin on 5 and Luke on 6 is just the right way to play the Han 2 deck. That's why Han 2 Blue is just the most represented deck here. And maybe with an influx of people trying, loving, failing at, exploring, and enjoying the Kylo Tarkin Town or the Kylo ECL Data Vault decks, like, we have real combo decks now. We have a whole new dimension to the meta to explore. And I'm wondering, like, will the space decks do better? Will that just be dominant, and will Force Throw get banned? What does it look like if and when Force Throw gets banned? This is a really unique snapshot of the game, and I've enjoyed playing it my way, even though it was really bad, even though it wasn't the level of World Championships that I could be at, that I could be playing at. I could have played a much stronger deck. I could have worked a lot harder and more focused on this deck if I had come to it faster. And I think what I'm taking away from this is that I want to do a lot more of the testing myself. I want to be exploring my own decks. I want to be building my own lists. I want to be playing my own lists. I want to be having my own thoughts. And whenever I have an idea for a deck, my instinct was to go online, go to the Bothans, go to some sort of chat, and find a deck list and start from there. And I found a lot more success starting from scratch and saying, what are the tools that I want? What are the plays that I want to make? What are the things that I want to put in my list that I want to see happen? I want to see this Wrecker into Anakin play. And you know what? The choice that I made to put Wrecker in over Mace was the best choice of the day. The Dirk droids were also great, but no one was playing lightsabers. I was just wrong. I'm like, I'll play a Quinlan and get a hot shot. I don't even think I played any yellow today. What is going on? Right? I'll get some shields off of a thing. Didn't matter. The Dirk droids didn't come up, but they are the right tool for the deck. And I liked finding that, and I liked innovating on that. And maybe I'll play it in a different version of Han 2. Maybe I've found a cool thing and I didn't find where it goes. And that's really, I'm on the world's front. Is that in the set 5 meta, I didn't find the secret thing for worlds. Yo, Danny! Come here. Look who just walked by. Danny, I have no idea what your record is. What's your record?
4-4.
4-4?
Yeah.
Yo, 4-4 buddies. All right.
Yeah, I played Kingston. That was pretty cool.
All right. Got any closing words for Worlds? This is the end of my vlog.
Matchup luck matters, right? So
Yeah.
I 6-0'd day 1, right?
Yeah.
And then 4-4 today. But then, like, I look at what I played against. Like, so day 1, I played 3 different Force lists and then a Piet list. So those are just, like, easy wins. I also played against, like, a Kira Data Ball. Like, I got, like, all the easy ones. And then today it's like, I got 2 Sabine Yellows and a Cad. And then I also played, like, a mega hard control list, which I thought those were extinct. Turns out they're not extinct. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do, right?
Man, I didn't know what your record was going into this round. I'm like, he could be 5-2. He could be on the bubble. Nah,
No,
we're just both getting
I
those.
was 4-2 and then just went back-to-back losses. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, the dream is dead.
Well, that's Worlds. And you know what? We're in Vegas. We're having a great time. And the important thing is to be here with your friends. To when you travel for an event, go to the place. I've explored Vegas. I explored the Venetian. I explored the Fremont Street. And Daniel has contacts here. I love being here. I love talking to the creators. I love talking to the developers. I love talking to my team. This is what it's about. This is why I play card games. And I never won a major tournament. Maybe I will one day, but really, this is how I connect with people. This is how I connect to the community. This is how I connect to my friends. I travel, I see them, we play a bunch of cards, and then we talk about what happened. The war stories are where it's all about. And you know what? I've had nothing but a great time. See you next year.
All right. So, how'd it go? I went 4-4, but really what I learned was that I want to play unfair. One of the principles that I bring to these high-level tournaments is I want to feel like I'm cheating. I want to feel like I'm playing the best thing in the meta. I want to feel like I'm really slamming it. I really want to take the meta and break it in some way. And if you look at these 60 cards, if you count the sideboard, I don't think that it did it. You'll hear a lot of what I said in the vlogs, that this deck was too fair, that this deck wasn't good enough, that it was bad. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's unprincipled for such a high-level tournament. There are threats that I was aware of that this deck didn't handle, and there's some synergy that the deck sacrificed to try to play the new shiny tools. And I got a little got. Was this a lack of testing? Was this a lack of preparation? Was this a belief in the wrong thing? I think that's a little bit of all of that. The choice of this was that it felt right. It felt like a deck that I understood. And even during the tournament, in testing and stuff, there are things in this list that I knew how to do because I could do this and then I could play that and I could play the Wrecker and I could do the Timely and I could find the lines. I understood the rhythm of this deck and I felt really cool when I did a cool thing, but I said, wow, wouldn't it be cool to do a cool thing with great cards rather than a cool thing with mediocre cards? If you watch Ian in the finals or really any of those top level matches with Kylo Tarkentown, you will see so many cool things with cool tools. Those are the pro plays. That's how you win these championships. You have the weird lines, you have the unique plays, you have the understanding of the meta, understanding of what your opponent's doing, and your deck can support you in doing that. I felt like I understood, at least in theory, in concept, a lot of what my opponents were trying to do, a lot of what the meta was trying to do, and oh, here's a list, here's what's going to do, here's where I've got to play my tempo, and here's my opening to win the game. Oh no, if I get past this point, I can't make it, or they're going to race me a little bit faster and I'm going to lose the game. I feel like I understood a lot of that. A lot of the fast matchups I knew when I was behind, and a lot of the slow matchups I knew when I was ahead enough or not ahead enough to win or not, because of the tools in my deck. You draw the Anakin unit and it's like, well, I guess this is going to come down, I hope it doesn't die, and this format was very unkind to Anakin. Similar with Poe and the Wrecker, there was only 2 of them, and it turns out they're just always the best play. It really makes me want to play the Timely or the ECL or some sort of version of it. Whatever. Point is, you really have to have both parts to win this huge tournament. You have to have the understanding and the skill to play at the top of your game, and also you have to have the deck that can support you. And clearly, that's not how my event went. But I loved playing this list. I loved understanding the meta. I loved seeing it unfold in my hands in front of me. And I got cool prizes. Hey, look, I got the Kylo Ray mat. I got a ton of cool shiny cards. It's awesome. I had a blast. I had a blast with all the Bothans. I had a blast with Daniel with Hero Mode. And really, this was a fantastic event. FFG really knocked it out of the park. I know that they're trying to do more convention-style events, and I'm excited to see more of those. I'm excited to go to more planetary qualifiers. Really, I had a fantastic World Championships, and I still love this game. I'm still going to play it a whole bunch. We're going to make content when it's appropriate. If anyone wants something, let me know. But really, I'm going to keep looking to break the game. And I've built a lot in this Han 2 deck. Maybe I'll end up with Han 2 later. Maybe I'll end up in these colors. But really, every time I come to a tournament, I'm always looking to break the game, and I'm always looking to really find those new corners, those new strategies, things that haven't been explored at the highest level, and make them work. So with that, I'll sign off, and I'll see you all next time. I'll see you at the next Galactic Championships after I find enough points to make it there, and I'll see you online, and thanks a whole bunch. May the Force be with you.